We are here for the Farrell Elementary 25th anniversary celebration. For those that I may not have met, I am Glen Brunk, the principal here at Farrell Elementary, and we want to thank you very much for joining us. We've been working hard to plan a special event to celebrate this milestone at Farrell Elementary of 25 years of excellence in education here at Farrell. So we're excited to be here, and we're excited that you've joined us. I want to recognize a few special guests that have joined us tonight. We have our AISD School Superintendent, Dr. Marcelo Cavazos. We have a couple of our school board members, Mrs. Gloria Pena. We have Mr. Peter Barron. We have Area Superintendent, Ms. Michelle Wilma-Sonato. Oh, we have another school board member, Ms. Keisha Mays. All right, we want to thank them very much for joining us. Like I said, we're very proud to be celebrating this milestone, this anniversary of 25 years. As you look around, you can still see some remnants of that 25 years ago, like this lovely color here on the stage. I remember when I first came to Farrell and I looked at my office door, which is this lovely color I don't even know the name of, I said, who in the world would make a door that color? And I just was like, wow. But then I started thinking, well, how old is Farrell? And well, 1989, okay, 89, that's the year I graduated from high school. Started thinking back. I guess I remember my mom having some of that color in our house. Okay, it kind of all made sense after I thought about it. You don't know how many times I've tried to figure out how to change the color of my office door, but that kind of material doesn't paint very well, I'll just tell you that. So that has not worked out so far. Well, back in 1989, you may have noticed, you may have seen the shirts Back to Our Future. Well, you know, in 89, what was popular? Those Back to the Future movies. I had a dad this morning, we had donuts with Dad, and I was wearing my Back to Our Future shirt, and he asked me where my DeLorean was. And because, of course, we all remember that movie. And so our team that put this night together wanted to use that 1989 memory of Back to the Future to talk about, you know, the very proud future that we're very proud of here that Farrell has had for 25 years, but also knowing that the best years are yet to come as we look to the future. And we know that we're going to have great years as we move forward here at Farrell Elementary. So we're here to celebrate where we've been, but also think about the great things that are yet to come. The reason that Farrell has been very successful the past 25 years is because of the fabulous faculty and staff that serve here currently and have served here throughout those 25 years. And I want to take a minute to recognize some of them. I would like to start by just recognizing all of them. So if you are a current or former staff member at Farrell Elementary, if you would please stand up. Many of them are already standing at the back. If you give them a round of applause. Yes, Ms. All right, thank you. I have a fabulous staff now, and we've had wonderful staff that have worked here throughout the years at Farrell Elementary. And I want to take a minute to recognize some special that have joined us tonight, and that would be the original staff of Farrell Elementary. 25 years ago, we have with us the very first principal of Farrell Elementary, Mr. Larry Cross. You'll get to hear from him here in just a little bit. We also have some others, and I'm going to ask, as I call their names, if you were part of the original faculty, if you would come up to the front. We're going to take a picture. So as I call your name, if you come up here. And I want to start with two that are my favorite and very special to me because they still serve the children of Farrell Elementary each and every day and have done that for now going on their 26th year. And so back in 1989, Mrs. MaryLynn Shelton was a fourth grade teacher here at Farrell Elementary. And then we have Miss Lou Manners, who started in January as a third grade teacher and then moved to fourth grade. And we have a special memento for these two since they are still serving here at Farrell. So my friends are going to come up and give them a little special thing for them to wear for our evening. Uh-oh, uh-oh. All right. If we could have Mr. Cross come up and join them as the first principal. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. We have two other teachers that I had the great pleasure of working with, but have retired over the last couple of years. We have Bonnie Kreiner, who was a third grade teacher back in 1989. And then we have Lindy Amburn, who was also a third grade teacher back in 1989. And I think we're privileged to have the entire third grade team from 1989 because Jackie Clark has joined us as well. Jackie, if you'd come up. I believe we were supposed to have with us, I haven't met her yet, but Shirley Thornton was hopefully joining us. Shirley, are you here? Maybe not. She was a resource teacher back in 1989. Cammie Stoker Reynolds was the PE teacher. Is she here? Okay, I'm striking out here. One more that was supposed to be with us, Freddie Kendrick, sixth grade teacher. Is she here? Oh, well, darn, they didn't make it. Anyone else who was on the staff in 1989 when Farrell first opened, if you'd please come up. We want to take a picture. I don't see anyone. All right, well, Spence, I want to take one more picture. If you were a student back in 1989, if you would come and join them. We have one very special former student. She still works for us. She's really never left. She's our guidance tech, has been a clerk here. There she is. Get up here, Miss Carter. It's so neat that some of the students have joined us. All right, thank you very much. Well, I wish we had time to recognize all of the former staff. We do thank you so much for joining us tonight. Those are the people I was going to recognize. And as you can see in our program, we will now hear a couple of songs from our choir, followed by getting to hear some words from a former student, a teacher who's been here for 25 years, and our first principal. So I will turn it over to Mr. Maples, our music teacher.
Good evening. My name is Mr. Maples, and I'm the director of the outstanding Farrell Falcon Choir. The choir has had a long history of excellence, and we are honored to be able to perform for this amazing anniversary tonight. To anyone who enjoys music or to parents who are here to watch the choir students, we have two upcoming concerts. One on Monday, December 8th at Bowie High School. It's the cluster concert. And the next on the following day, Tuesday, the 9th, at Barnes & Noble. We wanted to thank Mrs. Andrus, our PE teacher, for running the audio, and our awesome art teacher, Mrs. Pledger, for the backdrop tonight. Let's give them a big round of applause. We thank you again and enjoy tonight.
Beside the moon, you sparkles like a star. I think if you flew up to the sky. Beside the moon, you sparkle like a star. Dancing in the Street is a selection from 1964, first recorded by Martha and the Vandellas. However, it is also well known from the 1980s with such rock icons such as Van Halen, David Bowie, and Mick Jagger performing this well-known smash hit. This song invites people all over the world to stop what they're doing, cut loose, and dance in the street. As the Falcon Choir is performing this classic song, do not feel bad if your feet start dancing with us. Calling out around the world, are you ready
If I had more time, I could tell some stories about this next student, former student, but because he is pressed for time, I have to keep to my script. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker, our former student. His name is Jarrett Howell. I had the pleasure of teaching him when he was in 4th grade, and that was very interesting. Jarrett is a 2002 graduate of James Bowie High School. He graduated with a 3.8 GPA and was involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Student Council, basketball, and football. I just have to add that I think Jarrett was born with a basketball in his hand. He is a 2-year football letterman and a 4-year letterman and starter for the basketball program. He is currently Bowie basketball's all-time leading scorer. During his senior year, he earned first-team all-district honors in football and basketball. After high school, Jarrett earned basketball scholarships and attended Niagara University and the University of Texas at Arlington. He graduated with a BBA in management from UTA in 2007. He and his brother Keith, who was also in my class in 3rd and 4th grade, were the starting backcourt for UTA's first conference championship team in 2004. He was named 2nd team all-conference as a senior and was 2nd in the nation in 3-point shooting during his junior season. After graduation, Jarrett played 7 years of professional basketball in Europe. He played in Poland, Denmark, Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, and Germany. He was able to see 16 countries overall, including Italy, Belgium, France, Serbia, Luxembourg, and Austria. He won numerous individual and team accolades. He won 10 medals, 4 gold, 5 silver, and 1 bronze, and was named Guard of the Year in Romania and Denmark. He retired in 2013. After retirement, he focused his attention on coaching, a coaching career that started at Sam Houston High School for 1 year, then to his current post as varsity assistant basketball coach and avid elective teacher at Bowie. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Jarrett O. Howell.
Wow, what an introduction. First, I want to apologize to the teachers that I was in 3rd and 4th grade. I was a very rambunctious young man. I know, Mr. Cross, I know. I meant well. When Ms. Manners asked me to speak today, I had no choice but to say yes. As a teacher, a current educator, I see a couple of my students here, actually, and things that I try to teach them is that you have to always understand where you come from, and you have to understand the teachers are here for you. And a lot of things that I see nowadays is that students really feel that educators are trying to do something against them, and that's really not the case. These teachers really are here to love you. They spend time away from their families. They're up here late times, really caring for their students. And one thing that was very big for me coming here was parent involvement. My parents were very involved in my brother and myself in our education, and they worked with the teachers. And I remember a time where my father came to Miss Manners and all my teachers and said, if you have any trouble out of this one, then you let me know and I'll deal with it at home. And I didn't have any more issues. But really, for me, Miss Manners, Miss Shelton, Miss Kreiner, Mr. Cross, a lot of these people that I see that taught me really inspired me to be a teacher today. I was blessed to have a career where I was able to see the world. And it's one thing that's an initiative of our district is we want to be internationally recognized. And that's something that I share to the core of me, which is students here at this elementary level. I really want you to dream big. I really want you to think outside of just Arlington. Think outside of Texas. Think outside of the state of Texas. Think outside of America. The world is very big, but it's also very small. And I really want you to understand as students and parents that your dreams really can come true. Ms. Manners can tell you, yes, a ball was in my hand as a youth, and I knew from 3rd grade that I wanted to be a professional player, and it happened. But my career was not for me to play basketball. My career was to gain experiences and knowledge to be able to come back to do what I'm doing today, which is serving my students and my athletes that I get to coach every day, and to give them that experience, to let them know that it is a real dream, that is a real possibility in their life with whatever they want to do, whatever it might be, it is truly possible. And I can be up here talking all day long, but I'm going to make this short as far as this. Parents, I really want you to raise the expectations of your students, of your kids. I really want you to stay on them to understand that you want your kids to be better than where you are right now. And you should want your students to make sure that they're learning every day, to make sure that they're doing their homework, make sure that you don't downplay their intelligence, because these kids are really smart these days. And we didn't have all the technology. You know, I didn't have cell phones until I was 16, and I think I had 30 minutes a month, something like that. It was ridiculous. All right. But their dreams really are possible. They're everything that they want to do out of Arlington, Texas, they can be that. You know, I'm just one of many students. I went to high school with a Rhodes Scholar. I went to high school with a district attorney of Rockwall right now. I went to high school with many people that have done phenomenal things in all forms of industry across the world and across the nation. So for me, Farrell was the starting point. Farrell was the very starting point, and these teachers, they poured so much into me that today I wanted to come here and make sure that I give back to what they've given me, and this is just a small gesture that I can do. So what these teachers and educators and administrators have done all their lifetime, I want you guys to really, as students and parents, to keep pushing forward, keep dreaming, and know that it is real and possible. And know that anything you want to do in this life, you can do. And I know that this is my calling to come back to Arlington, Texas, and work for a great district, work for a great school, work and come back and inspire students to be able to live their dream the way I did with mine. And I want to thank you guys for being here. I love everybody that's here. You are a Farrell Falcon, and I am a Farrell Falcon forever. Thank you.
How would you like to follow that? Well, I'm MaryLynn Shelton. I've been here since the school opened. Every year my husband says, isn't it time for you to retire? And every year I go, just one more year. Farrell's been a second home to me, literally. People know, they'll laugh. For 25 years. And I've seen many teachers and staff come and go. I've met people here that will always be lifelong friends, really more like my family members. I'll never forget the day I left school to go and interview with the vice principal at Miller Elementary, Mr. Cross. He impressed me immediately, and I was so excited that he hired me to come here. The school was very small when it opened. There were only 2 teachers in 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade. We all thought we had died and gone to heaven with 3.5 walls instead of open classrooms where we had come. Larry is one of the kindest men I've ever known. He was so personable, had a great sense of humor. He knew every kid, and he always supported your professional decisions. I always felt comfortable in calling him for advice when I put my foot in my mouth on a regular basis. Larry, you will always have my utmost respect as a principal and a friend. Would you please welcome Farrell's first principal, Mr. Larry Cross.
I asked Mr. Brunk how long I needed to speak. He said, well, just as long as you want to take. So I'd like to welcome all of you and thank you for being here tonight. Have a good evening. Now, 25 years. It's really hard to believe that that time has gone by so quickly. And I walk in this building, and it actually looks just like it did, almost, except for the walls, as it did 25 years ago. And I can tell by the atmosphere. And you can always tell if you're not in education. You can always tell when you walk into a building the atmosphere and what it does and what it does for kids. And let me tell you, this is really one of the most fantastic schools in the district. There are a lot of them, but this is one of the best, I think. I was named principal, I guess, of Farrell Elementary back in April of 1989, and began immediately hiring teachers starting in April through the summer. Now, let me tell you, I had some really great applicants, and all of the teachers that we hired and placed here at Farrell Elementary were probably one of the most outstanding faculty that we could really get together. They all had high expectations for kids. They loved kids, they were caring, and as you can see, there are a lot of them still here today, still working and caring for kids. Mr. Brunk introduced some of those that had already retired, so you know, it's been really a pleasure working with that type of a staff member. When we opened in August, as I think MaryLynn Shelton mentioned, we had 350 students. And we all went, shh, we're the best kept secret in the district. You know, we don't want that word to get out. And she's right, we had probably 2 to 3 sections in each one of the grade levels. The building was not complete. The classrooms were ready. Everything was ready on that side of the hallway because that was the most important thing. One of the most important things is having the classroom and getting ready to teach the kids. But we did not have a cafeteria, and we did not have a library. This was all closed off. Well, of course, back then, this was all open. It's been closed now. So what did we do for lunch? The district graciously brought sack lunches to us. And you know those little carts that you see at Six Flags over Texas? Well, kids loved it. They really did. Mr. Howell is going to ask him his rigs. I don't know if you remember all of that or not, but the students would come out of the classroom and they would go and get their lunch, and then they go back to the classroom. The teachers weren't real happy about that, but they really took care of them. The building was finally completed in around the latter part of October and November, and we got ready for the dedication. Oh my, what a task that was. Dr. and Mrs. Farrell, the namesake of the building, Dr. Farrell was up here quite a bit, and we held the dedication sometime, probably the first week or two of November. It was a great celebration. Everything was beautiful, and Mr. Brunk, I wanted to tell you, I was kind of responsible for this color. Well, it was a committee, all right? Ellis got the color we wanted. It was a darker, I think, purple color, but, you know, it was like, you have these two choices. But anyway, after the dedication, we really got serious into becoming a family, getting to know each other, and really having a good time. My philosophy has always been, if you're not enjoying working at your school and if you're not having a good time, kids aren't going to have a good time and kids aren't going to learn. So that was one of the biggest things that we tried to do, is have a good time, enjoy, smile, be pleasant, and all of the staff members back then, and I'm sure they're that way today, understood that expectation. We had a very active student council. Miss Regina Bell, who was the music teacher, who, by the way, put on wonderful programs every year, along with Miss Hinkle, helped sponsor the student council. And they did a lot of things Oh, where is she? There she is. Miss Hinkle and Miss Bell and all the rest of them kept me out of trouble. Good to see you. They did a lot of things for our students. They did a lot of things for the district, and they did many, many things for the school. I don't know if, they probably don't know this, but we had a contest to name our school mascot. And boys and girls, did you know you almost were known as the Farrell Ferrets? I told Miss Bell and Miss Hinkle, I said, you do what you can do to make sure we're not Farrell Ferrets. And lo and behold, we became Farrell Falcons, which was great. The student council did a lot of wonderful things. I don't know if you noticed it. You probably didn't pay any attention to it, and it's been there for 25 years. I'm amazed. The rug or the thing that you walk across, what do you call it? The rug or something in front at the front door was the mat. Thank you. The mat was purchased by funds that the student council raised, and it still looks great today. We also had a very active PTA. They were involved in almost everything that we did for the kids at this school. A lot of wonderful things. A lot of parents really backed us, and they supported us and did a lot of things for us. In fact, the sign at the corner of the campus was purchased and put up by some of the PTA parents. Vic Travis, for one. Is he here tonight, Vic? I don't know. He lives in the neighborhood. When we opened Farrell, the only houses in this area were across the field. Nothing was around us. So we were just kind of out here in the open. Well, lo and behold, within 2 or 3 years, 4 years, our enrollment started to increase. We started having 3, 4 sections in each grade level. And our enrollment, I believe, got up to close to 750 students by the time I left. I want you just, when you leave the building and when you're walking through, just look around, and as I said in the beginning, look at what the building, the atmosphere that you see here at this building. And you can see, is that my time? I'll quit. You can see that the influence the teachers and the staff and the parents in the community have had on this particular building and the impact they've had on the students. And I am sure, no, I'm positive, all of that will continue for the rest of the time of Farrell Elementary. Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here. And
thank you so much, Mr. Cross. It's so interesting to get to hear that history that we don't often take time to think about and really listen to. So thank you for that, and I'm glad that we're not Farrell Ferrets. Yeah. Well, next we get to see and hear our fabulous Farrell Lady Steppers. So I'm going to turn over to Miss Hills and her Steppers.
I do thank you for welcoming the Farrell Lady Steppers. Just a few things about us. We are new to Farrell. We've been a step team for 3 years. Last year we won 3rd place at the MLK Step Show. Yeah. And this year in January, we're hoping to go and take us something home again. So I will be sending out things. I hope we have a support like this. This will be awesome. So please give the Farrell Lady Steppers a hand.
They always do a fabulous job, and we thank Ms. Hills and her group for performing for us tonight. Now we are privileged to get to hear a few words from our AISD School Superintendent, Dr. Marcelo Cavazos.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this evening. 25 years of really, as you see the theme from the teachers, the former students, Larry, the principal, the current students, the same theme exists today that existed before, and that is a theme of excellence and a theme of love. And if you sense in this facility, and Larry, you're right, when you walk into a facility, you know the environment, you know the culture. And Farrell Elementary for 25 years has had a high expectation of their students and a tremendous amount of love for not only their students, but the community and the parents. And the reason that Farrell Elementary has been so successful is because of you. The tradition continues. You continue to inspire our students, to provide great opportunities. I'd like for everyone to take just a moment and give all our teachers and staff that works at Farrell another round of applause for their dedication. Absolutely. And we know that this work is not done alone. And when the parents commit, when you commit to something like a Farrell Elementary, the excellence will continue for decades to come. And so thank you so much for your support of Farrell Elementary, the students, the staff of Arlington Independent School District, because as the former student said, our task today is to make sure that we help students realize their dreams. Not just dream and dream big, that's important, but that we help them realize their dreams. And the efforts that you've placed in this community, in this district, will help us do that for a long time. Thank you again, and wonderful celebration. I appreciate your support.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Cavazos. We greatly appreciate your support here at Farrell. And we are just about to the end of our program. We want to thank you again for coming. In just a moment, Mr. Maples and the choir are going to lead us in the singing of our school song. After that, we will adjourn to our reception. We have cake in the back for you, and a time for you to be able to catch up with some old friends. And while you're doing that, we'll have on the screen pictures of 25 years of memories at Farrell Elementary. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Maples and our choir in the singing of our school song. Thank you again. Y'all get up and enjoy some cake.